And it's time. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another great episode of CyberCast IRL, the CyberCast IRL live stream. It is, what are we? We're not in April anymore. It's May 2nd, Friday. That is 10 a.m. Eastern. Welcome, and thanks for joining us today. I see the Simply Cyber crew is starting to roll in like a wave. I always appreciate the raid from the Team SC. It warms my heart. It does. I thank you for joining me. And of course, my ride or dies that are out there, they're always in here first thing. While I'm getting things set up, I get to talk and have a good time with Carrie, Chasen, and Wayne's Real World. They're always there. I really appreciate you guys showing up. I know that Carrie's having a hard time right now. We're having some good conversation with him. Hopefully, everybody just keep sending him good thoughts, prayers, anything you can for him. He's working hard to get that first job. And he needs it, so let's keep him in our thoughts and support him as much as we can. If anybody can reach out to him and help him, I highly recommend. He's very active on LinkedIn, so I just wanted to kind of throw that out there for him. That's what we're here for, right? To support each other, to help each other in times of good and times of want, right? Not just for the funs and the giggles, even though that is a major player when it comes to the show. We appreciate everybody that comes here. Chat is having a good time today. We've seen a lot of cool people already showing up. Like I said, we've got Wayne's Real World. We've got Code Brew. We've got Cyguy C-Y-G-U-I-R-Y. Cyguy Rye, like that. Raymond Cruz. What do we say? Not only IT, we've got Mustache IT. We've got Code Brew. Tech Ricky, the techiest of all the Rickies. Of all those Rickies. I mean, there's so many Rickies available. And we get the techiest one of all. That's just kind of cool. Phil Stafford in the house. What's up, Phil? Good to see you, brother. Marcus Kyler. Oh, Cam Godot. Let's see. Space Tacos. Kerry Tyler. Terrence Billingsley. Oh, TJ Williams made it. What's up? The Pain. That's right. Let's see here. Who else is in here? We got a couple of... Legrat has showed up. Legrat, always good to see you. The Real Bilbo. My man, what's going on? Divine Dream Divine. We appreciate your presence. Thank you for joining us. We've got Mental Edge. Hey, happy Friday. Happy Friday to you. Mental Edge. I'm going blind in this life. I cannot see. I got to blow up the chat so that I can see what's going on. I'm having a hard time reading anymore. Getting old. It's not for the faint of heart. I just turned 45. It's all downhill from here for me. So glad to have some good folks in here. Roswell UK just showed up. What's going on? There's Jerry, Simply Cyber, Dr. Jerry Ozier, that nerd. We like to call him a nerd because he is, and it's in a good way though. I like that he's a nerd. Black Shell back in the house. Hello. Black Shell says, hello, Mr. Python. That's right. I have been making a Python series on my YouTube channel. And you want to know why I did that? We want to know the real motivation is because it's just dang fun. I like having fun. And to me, it's been a lot of fun. If you haven't seen my series here, let's do this. Let's go into the PC. And a shameless plug of myself. Let's see here. I feel like I'm not in the shot. There we go. Let's youtube.com/@ Daniel D. I can't spell my own name. IEL Lowry. There you go. I've got this lovely little series. If you hit over to playlists, there it is right there, where we're working on learning Python through building a hacking tool where we're going to brute force past a web login. And you'll notice right around that region it says unavailable video is hidden. That's because it drops right after CyberCast IRL. It will be available after that. So new video today for that. If you're watching that series, Black Shell, hopefully you're continuing to enjoy it. It's a bit of a long episode because we have to do post requests in this episode. And to get all the information you need to make the correct post request, we had to learn a bit about HTTP, the post method itself, the data that goes along in the post request and how that works, and how do we get that, either using the dev tools in the browser or something like Burp Suite. So it's a bit of a longer episode. I think it was like 35 minutes, but I feel like it's worth the time and effort. That said, it's that time, kids. For those of you new to the channel, we do this little thing we like to call the morning pour. It is a fan favorite, and it is fun. And what we do is we take the camo cup here, the Lord's camo woodland. No digital here. That's right. This is the way. This is what I grew up on. That's what I had, and that's what I'm gonna continue to use. And I've got a new monster flavor today for us. Any guesses on what it's gonna be? I went with a summertime theme. It's basically summer here in Florida because we're already hitting low to mid 90s, and it's gotten a little bit hot, little hot out there. So I thought I'd go with a little summertime theme, and I saw this on the shelf, and I thought I cannot turn away from it. Today it's going to be watermelon, ultra watermelon. They didn't get fancy with the name on this. It's just ultra watermelon. What do you want? Watermelon's a long word. And there's nothing that really like rhymes with it, I guess. Watermelon, daughter felon, which I hope I never have. But this I love the green top with the. I mean, it really captures the watermelon idea. But let's get it done, shall we? Get that. Hold on, we got to get everything in just the right spot here. Ooh, it gave me a good crack. And the pour. Very watermelony smelling. I can smell it. Oh. Don't overpour, Daniel. Tap. And. Oh, it hit like a summertime. It's got like a back end. Man, you ever. Hold on. Man, you got to swish it around. You got to really let it hit the gums and the teeth and the tongue. It tastes a lot like Bubblicious. The bubble gum with the watermelon's got like the green outside and that color. It's like this, but it's gum. Little tart. Now that it's coming through, little tartness there. So if you like tartness, that's going to be there. Almost like a sweet tartness at the back end of that. That is not bad. Do I like all monsters? Is it possible that they just do not create a bad product? I mean, I feel like that's okay, but this one's going on the wall. Let's put it up there. Yeah. And another monster can laid to rest. But this will give me refreshment and invigorate me for the show ahead. It's almost like a wine tasting, Space Taco says. Yeah, it kind of is, right? Where you got let it breathe. Take some in, swirl it around, and then take it down. That's right, because it's amazing. Tech Ricky says, I'm not a fan of the guava one. I think I have had that one. I think it is much more. Is the guava one that kind of tastes like a grapefruit? Because I'm not a huge fan of grapefruit. It's just too tart for me. It says Carrie Tyler says you're gonna have to arrange those cans at some point to make a rainbow. That is not a bad idea. I mean, it's kind of getting there, but I'll have to do the Roy G. Biv thing, right? If I can make that happen, that'll be fun. It's fun little things we do with the show. All right, let's get to talking though. We got that out of the way. We're enjoying our monster. Hopefully everybody, you guys, I hope you're joining me with the monster pour. You should have your own monster ready. We can all pour together, right? It's the monster that binds us together. Let's see here. Yeah, let's talk cyber stuff, shall we? Because we've been getting at it a little bit with some fun stuff. If you're new to the channel, this is what we do. We talk cybersecurity. Anything's on the table. If you want to make sure that your boy sees you chat like you got a question, and your boy being me, you got a question, you've got a comment that you really want to bring to my attention, well, you got to at my name. You see, like Divine Dream Divine says, at Daniel, you're a genius. That's two colors. I know, I got two in one. It was a 2-for-1 sale right inside the can. I'd have to mix them. My mixology was unnecessary. You see David O'Neill. Good morning, Daniel. Good morning, David. Right? Legrat. Daniel Lowry is strong in the monster. Yes, I am strong in the monster. So that's what you do. You have to at my name and I'll see it. If I don't, which there's lots of chats up here I think I've missed so far. Yeah, like cool shirts. Thank you. We got DP here. Midway to the 5th floor. You'll be there before you know it. Yay. New Python source. Thank you, Daniel. Right. So this is the kind of stuff that you got to do. And I can see these as I scroll through the chats, making it a whole lot easier. Like I said, if I do miss it, I am a human. I'm not perfect. If I do miss that, Wayne's Real World is out there in the chat. He's kind of our official, unofficial moderator of the chat. Just kind of ping him and he will bug me until I see or say something about what you were asking. So I appreciate him and all his efforts out there. What else we got going on here? Got some happy Friday, good mornings going on. Let's see. It's only 9 a.m. for me, says Gary. Yeah. Oh, duh, you're an hour behind. Okay. Well, behind me anyway. But you're an hour ahead of others. Interesting. It's all about perspective, right? All about that perspective. Divine Dream at Pac-Man DL says, good morning. The Pac-Man poster is so inviting, so live. I do. My kids got me that for like Father's Day or my birthday or something. I love that little thing. I need to get some more stuff. I'm afraid to get too busy back here. This side is definitely getting busy, right? But that's cool. I think one side being busy is totally fine. Let's see here. Okay, let's catch up Chatola. Let's get to Strong in the Monster. Phil Stavros says it's 7 a.m. for him. So it is early. So there you go. That's what we're going to do. We talk about cybersecurity stuff and we talk about certificates or certifications. Should I say this? So I don't know why certificate came out of my head. Certifications, things in the news, tools, techniques, jobs, whatever the case is. If it's cyber related, it's probably on the table with very little exception. And because I don't want to squelch anybody's opinions, right? If you don't like you're like, Pentest Plus sucks. It's the dumbest certification. Or you're like, Pentest Plus is the mother of all pen testing certs. I don't know why anyone would get anything other, right? That kind of thing. I just chose Pentest Plus. It came to my head. I'm not picking on Pentest Plus. I'm just using it as an example. You're allowed to do that, though. You're allowed to say what you like and what you don't like. And as long as you can give good reasons for that, I think it facilitates dialogue, conversation. Black Shell says, nice t-shirt. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I get spoiled because where I work, they give me all sorts of fun t-shirts. I want to start making my own stuff eventually, but time and, of course, that costs money and that kind of stuff. Let's see here. Carrie's let me know he can't do monsters anymore. Yeah, I think you've mentioned this to me before, that it kind of messed up your mouth. So it's only regular coffee for him. I get it, but you know what? You could pour a cup of Joe. That's your monster. Java Monster. That's Carrie. That's your new nickname, buddy. Java Monster. Red says, Hobby Lobby art for the win. It is, right? You go there, they got tons of great stuff. I do love that store, especially around the holidays. It's just the place to go. They got so many cool things. Space Tacos says, beard is dope as hell. Well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. It just grows. I can't control it. Actually, if I let it go, in about a week's time, I would look like I was living in a dumpster somewhere. It just gets crazy and wild. I have to constantly tend to this thing. It used to be that I stopped shaving because that was so much work. Like I would shave in the morning and then by the afternoon I needed to shave again. So I just gave up. And then for a while I just let it go and it was this big bush. And then my wife was like, so here's the thing. That needs to trim. So I started trimming it. Let's see here. Okay, so I think we're all just having a good time. Van down by the river. That's me. That's right, Tech Ricky. I don't mind. I will live in a van down by the river. So many secret codes. Oh, no, don't shave. No, I won't. Don't worry. I'm never going to shave. That's never going to happen. Many people have thrown that out there like it would be a thing. But no. This will be on my corpse when they stick me in the box and lower me into the ground, unless the mortician gets weird. There will be a beard on my face. Cam Godot says, do you think a great score versus a passing score in a cert has any real differentiating value when applying? So here's the short answer. Absolutely not. No one cares. No one's going to ask you your score. I say that generally, no one's going to ask you your score. I'm sure there's some person out there who's like, so I see you have, a Microsoft cert, or you have one of these Security Plus or something. Well, and what was your score again? I'm very no one's going to cork sniff your score. Generally, like I said, I'm sure there's some a-hole out there that cares a lot about that stuff. So in the grand scheme of things, to me, the certifications only validate so much, right? Because I've met plenty of people who don't have a single cert to their name. Smart. And I've met plenty of people that have tons of certs to their name, not so smart, right? So, because some certs can be cheated. Some certs, I think generally they do a pretty good job of at least giving you something to show that, hey, I know a thing or two about a thing or two, most likely because it's on my resume. I have the cert. I can prove that I have the cert. There's all those things that are available to kind of verify that cert is real. I just slap it on my resume as a lie. But even if you were really smart and you do know a lot of the information for the cert, if not all of it, you might not know it in the way that they were asking. So you end up getting things wrong. You don't understand the question very well. A lot of questions are worded like garbage, which I absolutely loathe, which is why I really don't like the CompTIA style of certification, or even Microsoft, or a lot of Cisco stuff, that kind of thing, where they're asking you questions and you give an A, B, C, D, or multiple choice answer, or put this in the right order, kind of thing. To me, at the end of the day, knowing what order the whatever method is in makes no never mind. You know why? Because you can look that crap up. That's what's up. You can look that up. That, as long as you know what that is. So let's take OWASP top 10. Who here, well, I'm sure there are some of you that can name the OWASP top 10 from 1 to 10 in order correctly. I'm sure there are a few of them out there. I can't do it. I mean, I look at it all the time, but I can't tell you off the top of my head what order it's in. And for someone, if that were a test question, which that's the kind of thing you tend to get on certifications, it doesn't matter if I know what order they're in. I can go look it up. It's not like I can't access the OWASP top 10. So I'm a much bigger fan of prove it to me. Prove to me you know the OWASP top 10, because I'm going to give you a test that makes you use the OWASP top 10, and it will be there and available for you. If you can interpret that information and use it correctly in the context of which I give it to you, then guess what? You know how to do it. Right? Is this controversial? Is that what's going on? So to me, that's how it should be done. That's why I'm a huge fan and proponent of building a body of work, right? Having GitHubs, having a LinkedIn that's really well curated, that you're constantly engaged with people in the business. You're doing stuff, you're making walkthroughs and write-ups and doing all these things to show that cert, yes, I got the cert too, but that ain't just wallpaper, right? That ain't just something pretty to stick up on my wall and make me feel good about myself. It's a real thing. I really do know that stuff, because here's the proof. Badges and things of that nature, doing the try hack me stuff, right? Helping out in forums, creating forums, being active in communities, showing up on Discords and things of that nature. Divine. You're so cool. That is funny. So hopefully that answers your question on that. So yeah, to me, I've yet to meet anybody that asked me what score I got. They just go, "Oh, cool, you got that." You got that cert. Good for you. That's awesome. All right, let's see here. Where are we at here? Where are we at here? Making sure I get right in the right spot here. So many secret codes. There it is. Secret. This one comes from Mustache IT. I picked up some merch from Spearfish General Store. Picked up a Blue Team shirt and the Black Hills one. I have a Blue Team shirt right there. It's right off screen. You can't see it. Love that shirt. It doesn't show well on my camera for some strange reason. It does like some weird color, thing. I could probably like make a manual setting for it, but I was wearing it the other day, and our guy Ryan on the back end was like, "Hey, your camera's looking a little off." I'm like, "It does this with this blue shirt. It doesn't like it." But I like wearing it out because I think it's a great shirt. Let's see here. Space Tacos, that's my point. The shape of your beard. Oh, it doesn't look like a backwoodsman. Well, thank you. Thank you. Yes, I try to tend to, I'm trying to please both myself with having a beard and my wife as well, where it looks like I'm not, a crazy person screaming at the sky. The Real Bilbo says, my wife said the same thing. That's why she's my ex. Oh man! And if you've met the Real Bilbo, he does also have a fairly epic beard. Nice and shag-orific. It kind of hangs down, very, very shaped. I like it. Fredon says, "Happy wife, happy life." There is some truth to that philosophy. Wayne's Real World says, "Thank you everyone for hitting the like button." Wayne, you are a good man, sir. I appreciate you. Let's see here. Carrie says, my somebody died. I guess you forgot to hit that middle part there. Someone died in 2011. I assume it was your dad. He had a goatee and they shaved it for some reason, put him in the box. No way. I would have been so mad. I'm like, that's not my dude, right? Like, who did this? Who authorized this garbage? Or maybe they had a reason. I don't know. It's easy to armchair a quarterback, but we would have had a conversation about that. And they would have had to convince me that that was the right thing to have done. Otherwise, I would have been a little upset. All right, let's see here. Divine Dream Divine, the guitars, wants to play. Okay, so that's funny you bring that up. I was actually looking at, because this gets brought up from times. I think it was Black Shell the last time. But he's talking about my guitars, and they want to hear me play guitar from time to time. So I was looking into getting the equipment necessary and doing some setup and maybe having like some special times where the guitars come out. So I'm working on that. I'm slow rolling it, but I'm working on it to where that might become a possibility that we do that. So just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind. Carrie says, I knew a lot for the A+ and then passed. For the Security Plus old test, I had to guess most of the test and passed. I must be a good guesser. That is very possible, right? Again, and not that you cheated or anything like that, but you just was like, I feel like it might be this. And you guessed your way through it to a win. And does that, now the philosophical question becomes, does that diminish your Security Plus? Right? You did pass it. You did. I don't think it diminishes your Security Plus. Again, I'm kind of processing this out loud with you good folks. I think it diminishes the Security Plus. Or at least that one, right? Maybe that version was fairly guessable. I feel like the tests like the Security Plus, I get that one's a little more conceptual, but I still think that like should be a way to build an environment, a testing environment that you get dropped into, maybe a bunch of Docker containers or something like that. That's like, hey, check the file server. What's the ACL rule and what's wrong with that? What's bad about that? Still maybe be able to use some type of multiple choice, but in a more practical way. And I understand that would take some money, but guess what? CompTIA got all that chang right now because they got bought out, right? They are a for-profit company. Trust me, they had money before that, right? They had plenty of dollar bills. Trust. But yeah, like to build that out. All right. We have, oh man, I missed a bunch. Man, I have missed a bunch. Okay, there's CISO Cool. Okay, I think I'm caught up here. Carrie says people need to get better cert than CompTIA. I have not had any companies look at my certs and treat them seriously. So I think it depends. The Security Plus actually has quite a decent reputation. I think Pentest Plus does as well. CySup, I mean, if you're going for the help desk level, so like A plus, Net plus, I think those could probably go either way depending on when you had an experience with those. Like for me, it's been a while, at least since I took the exam. I have looked at the material, and they do try to stay current, but it's not just that. I think if you are putting all the weight of your resume on your certifications, that's an issue. That's an issue with your resume. You need to build a body of work that says, hey, I've got these certs and I can prove it. Here's some stuff here's some projects I'm working on. Here's work I've done, right? Man, ask everybody in a 5-block radius if you can fix their computer for free, or at least attempt to, right? Maybe, or for parts, right? You don't charge any labor. If there's parts necessary, they'd have to come out off of the wallet for that. But if you've got, hang your shingle out and be like, I will fix your PC for free, minus parts, right? If I need parts, I don't have the money to go out and just YOLO parts to everyone. I wish I did, but I don't. That's where you come in to help me get there one day so that I can give people free work, including parts. And then you're like, I've been freelancing help desk like work, right? Everybody, just let everybody that know that if they have a computer problem, they can call you and tell them like, it'll have to be on your schedule because you got things to do. You got to pay your bills. You got to get groceries and do your thing too. But when you have time, you'll get with them and you'll help them out as much as you can. And bada bing, that is real work. It's really, and it doesn't cost you anything really other than time. And they get a really cool service and you get something to prove on your resume. Then you can do write-up. You can do blog posts on, from the tech bench or something like that. Worked on my neighbor's PC today. Unfortunately, they were, kicking around on the internet and installed some malware. So it was another malware deletion. I mean, that's straight security related. You're basically doing a single person incident response at that point, right? And who knows what else they got going. Hey, you got any jump drives or anything like that? Let's scan those as well. What is your network? Like you see how, and it doesn't have to be forever. I've done this. So it's not like I'm giving you an idea and going, hey, good luck with that. Hope it works. This is just me waxing eloquent or whatever. I've literally done this. And that's how I got some experience with things. Not only IT says, any thoughts on WGU cyber programs? Check them out a bit, but on the fence. I don't have any experience with them, honestly. I've heard good things, but nothing direct. That's all hearsay. So I'm not a good reference for that, unfortunately. I think they do use my training, or they have used it. I don't know if they're still using it, but I think they have used or still do use my training from that place that shall not be named. So, which is kind of ironic, isn't it? It's kind of funny. Top Eagle, what's the best laptop for cybersecurity? So this is an interesting question. I like this question. And Wayne, you popped that one in. Thank you, brother, for jumping on it, because that is a great question. What is the best laptop for cybersecurity? Divine Dream Divine says, you're so humble. Show all your talents. I try to be, right? I'm not the greatest thing ever, but I do have talents. But let's see. Best laptop for cybersecurity is going to be something you can run VMs in, okay? Has a little bit of RAM for building labs. So you probably want something with at least 8 gigabytes of RAM. If you're looking for a good power performance middle ground, 16 gigabytes of RAM would be best. If you don't care about power, then go 32 if you can grab it, or higher, because then you can just build bigger boxes, right? So there you go. I right now, and I don't know if they fixed this. When I was in Denver, where I think that's where I got this shirt, right? When I was in Denver, they were putting on a class and some of the VMs were taking a dump, right? They were just crashing out, and they were using VMware Workstation as I think it was Workstation Pro as the hypervisor to run the labs in the class. And some people's laptops were just crapping out. And I did some research then. I found out that certain generation of Intel chips have an issue with VMware Workstation. And they just would give a problem. Both Microsoft and VMware were aware of this, but they were doing the Spider-Man thing where, no, it's your fault. No, it's your fault. And no one was willing to fix it. So I don't know if since then, that was a few months ago now, whether or not that has changed. So I've been suggesting get AMD chips. I don't necessarily recommend Apple, not because they're not good, but because of the whole, Apple Silicon and the compatibility issues that could come when running hypervisors, building labs, and doing that stuff. So, but ultimately, anything that can access the web and run a Kali VM, you should be good to go if you're going to do some cybersecurity, or if you want to spin up something like Waza, or anything that's going to give you some ability to get some hands-on experience with tools and techniques and tactics and playing around with stuff and build your lab environment. That's really all you need. And most of the stuff we do nowadays is kind of cloud-based, so you don't need a ton of horsepower. The horsepower for me comes into doing labs, building VMs and giving them enough horsepower that they run efficiently and don't crap out on me. So let's see here. Let's go to the chat and see what they think about this. Oh man, I skipped a lot. What's the best laptop for cybersecurity? There it is. Let's see. I haven't tested on those since 2009. We're getting grandfathered. Oh, that was talking about certs for Mental Edge. Tech Ricky brings up a great point. What's your budget? And the good news is, let's do this. We haven't been in. Well, let's go get right. You can get. Yeah. Zon.com. If you're looking for a laptop, I like the HP Victus 15. If you've got not a giant budget, right? Look at this right here. It does have an Intel Core i5. I think they do have AMD versions of this. But look at that, 64 gigs of RAM on this sucker for $749 with a 2 terabyte SSD, right? Like full HD, IPS, anti-glare. It's a Core i5 1334U, or which is greater than the AMD, right? Yes, it is. It does a better job, but if it's going to give you issues with virtualization at this point, just buyer beware on that. But I'll probably go for one of the AMD versions of this, right? Look at those prices. That's not bad, right? There's an 8 gig right there, $489. That's a decent laptop, right? I don't think that you would have issues with this. There's one with 16 gigs, $571. That's a decent price for a brand new laptop. I'm not gonna lie, right? So there are options out there for you to be able to afford. And if you got less money, that's totally fine. Get something that's older, a couple of years, a couple of generations behind, and you're going to save a butt ton of money and still get some decent horsepower. I was telling Carrie, I've said this before. I'm running an iMac from 2012 or 13. Dude, that's 12 years old at this point. I've got a laptop right over there that I got in, so let me see here. Let me get it right. I want to say it's from 2010. Yeah, I think it's from 2010. I filled it full. It has 8 gigs of RAM. That's as much RAM as it can take. It's a Dell. And I use it for all sorts of stuff. I slap Linux on it. It does also, I could do some stuff. I ain't going to be running crazy VMs and everything on it. So, but I could do some stuff, and that's another way to go. If you don't have enough money to buy horsepower in one box, go buy some cheap old guys and throw Linux on them and build your they're not VMs at that point. You have an actual network. You could go that way. And then you could do all sorts of fun things. All right. Hopefully that answers that question. Maybe there should be a page on the Try Hack Me playbook and drop you into a browser-based session. Yeah, you go cloud. Cloud has the ability, like Amazon has this. I think Azure has it as well, obviously, where you have a desktop in the cloud. You just pay a monthly subscription fee for that. And there you go. And you can give it as much or as little resources as you can afford. And you can build your entire lab in the cloud. Just give yourself access to it and firewall everything else off. And now all you need is a Chromebook, right? Get that $99 Chromebook at Walmart and be like, cool, I'm a hacker, right? Because everything you do is in the cloud. Totally a great way to go. Let's see here. Phil Stafford says Sec Plus is taken seriously because DoD recognized that. Yep. It's not 8570 anymore. It's like 84 something or other. I forget what they changed it to. What is it changed to? What's 80 DoD 8570. Oop, 8570. What is it now? There it is, 8140. So certs that are compliant to this framework hold a bit of weight because the government recognizes them. So if you have one and you're applying for government jobs, like you can't get a government job unless you have something that is 8140 compliant or old 8570. Let's see. Carrie says, I am attempting to do a portfolio and it's taking a while to show my stuff. I have fixed computers. I just put in more RAM in this with the secretary's computer. Excellent. Do a write-up. You need to create a blog, and there's plenty of free resources out there for you to be able to do that. Write that up. Make sure it looks professional as much as you possibly can. You're going to learn more as you go as far as how to make it look professional, but start putting that stuff out there. Give it a cool name. Be consistent. Anything you do, anything you're learning. So if you didn't do anything this week, whatever you learned this week, that becomes your blog post. You have to be consistent. You cannot sleep on it. Let's see here. Space Tacos. Oh, sorry. How much do you deal with the GRC of things? Lots, sometimes, only a little, never. For me, not a lot. I've been through 27001 and SOC 2. But I was on the, hey, you need to be compliant side of things. So it was like, oh, okay, we got to run around and make sure everything's compliant so that we can pass and then look at the paperwork and that kind of stuff. But for the most part, I'm more of an offensive guy, right? I should have worn my Red Sea shirt today. I am offensive. I like the hacky part of stuff. I don't really enjoy too much the governance, risk, and compliance side of things. It's just not my cup of tea. I totally recognize it. And my boy Jerry, he's holding it down. He making it real, right? Because it is very useful. It is a very good thing. It's just not my cup of tea, as it were. Gary says his last job interview for a computer company, and when they asked him about putting in network cabling, I told them I only had book knowledge, and they looked at me like I was stupid. Okay. So what you should have said, right, is that, first let me start off with, have you ever plugged a cable into a network thing before? Right? Maybe you've never run cable before, but have you ever like terminated an end where you take a, hold on. Go grab you one of these and go snip and cut the end off, get you a cable maker thing, get some RJ45 ends, and use one of the specifications and terminate the thing, right? That's, if you've ever plugged this into something, you can say, well, I've done that. I know what RJ45 is. I know what Cat 5e is. I know Cat 6. I know the difference between those things. I'm a fairly astute individual. I can run a fish tape behind a wall. I can crawl under floorboards. I'm willing to do anything you want me to do. I don't see too many, I'm starting to be an a-hole. Maybe I wouldn't say it this way, but I'm looking around and I don't see too many rocket scientists here running cables. So it's well within my wheelhouse. I've just never had the opportunity to do it as work before. But I've done plenty of things with my hands. I'm very handy. I'm willing to do anything. I'm willing to get sweaty. I'm willing to get into attics. I'm willing to get into crawl spaces because I know that's where this stuff goes. And I'm sure that you're looking for someone to do that for you so that you don't have to do it, right? You're selling yourself to them on why it would be a good idea to hire you to do that, even though you've never technically done it. You know all the things that go along with it. Now you just need to get your hands on stuff. You got to tell them that. So if they looked like you were stupid, if your answer was, I only have book knowledge, I could see why they might be like, that's an interesting response. So we don't want to attribute to them unless they were like, really stink-eyeing you. You've got to sell the idea that even though I don't have that experience per se, there's nothing I can't learn and there's nothing I'm not willing to do for this job. I'm passionate about this. I'm excited about this. I'm actually excited about crawling under the floorboards. I want to do it. I'm really looking forward to that experience of being, fiberglass insulation all in my face and wearing a mask in a hot spot, fully clothed with flannel on to protect me from the itch. It sounds like I've done this before, doesn't it? Because I have. I could, Fox and Hound. There's nothing to those things. It's not like super difficult stuff. But yes, I've never actually done it. I can do the job. If that's what you're asking, can I do the job? The answer is yes. That's what I would have said. Gary says he thanks me for the idea to fix computers. I had more luck in SC than here in Texas. Well, that's cool. I'm glad that things are better there for you. Victor Rosa, I got XDR. Why does it do that? I love it when it jumps on me. Where'd you go, Victor Rosa? Where are you at in the chat? Why? Victor Rosa, I got XDR service provider. What would it be best practices? What should I be doing every day besides looking for charts? Should the answer be following the framework like NIST is good? That's a good question. Probably is going to be a little more specific to, that's not my lane for the most part. So I don't want to try to lead you down the wrong path. But you know what we can do? Wow, it's 10:43 already. Holy Moses. Let's go looking this up here. All right, XDR. Cisco XDR for dummies. Let's see what they say. This actually looks pretty insightful. Learn how Cisco XDR. Can you get out of my face? I don't need you to help me. You're helping me already. Let's see here. The extended detection and response for dummies second Cisco edition is a refresh. So maybe this is a good resource for you. So many definitions and acronyms. So what was your question again? I got an XDR service provider. Okay, so you're having it provided to you. You're not doing it. What would be the best practices? You should talk to your provider. Ask them what they suggest that you do to help with that relationship, and what would make you, I guess, skill up or level up in that area to be more effective on your side of the house. Should the answer be the following framework like NIST? NIST is always a good place to go, right? Because it's going to be government. So let's go. It's probably going to be buried deep in something. But there you go. That's about the best answer I've got for you on that. Again, it's not really my lane. But I'm sorry. Sorry if I wasn't more help. Let's see. Top Eagle. GPUs or CPUs? Which is a go-to in cyber? Oh, go-to. Gotcha. In cybersecurity heavy tasks. So if you're talking about like password cracking offline, CPU or GPUs, I'm sorry. Because horsepower, right? I'm trying to think of like heavy task stuff. Brute forcing things, obviously network connectivity is going to be a big deal if it's over the wire in some way, shape, or form. But for me, I got something in my teeth. For me, horsepower really comes into play with building out labs. Let's say you're, picture this: Sicily, 1937. The Mussolini is taking power, and you're starting to build you're starting to do a pen test, right? You come across that they're running some kind of software. You feel like there is some vulnerability. You're reading some information about exploitable pieces to this software. A good idea would be able to download said software, spin it up in a lab environment so you can see what it looks like on the back end to give you more insight to what you're looking at from the outside in. So if you kind of know what's going on behind the scenes, and you do that by spinning up a VM. Of course, you can do that in the cloud, but if you want to do it in-house on your own stuff, on your on-prem cloud, you're going to need horsepower for that. So that's where that goes. Okay, let's see here. Lots of good talking. Everybody just having a good time. David O'Neill. I'm more of an Asus tough gaming laptop kind of guy. Cool. What else do we got? Carrie says, Dell are Gouda computers. Dad, you got the dad jokes going on here. Red says, I was referring to companies doing certs. Okay. I must have missed something. I was referring to the companies doing certs. So the company itself has its own certification? Is that what you're saying? Let's see here. FedEx, if you're heading to B-Sides Tampa, I got a surprise for you, and you can also be a sponsor in our village. Just saying. I will fill you on DM with details, but let's just say it's AI and CTF. Gotcha. I will be at B-Sides Tampa, and we'll see. I've got stuff that I want to do at B-Sides Tampa, but if I have time or whatever, at least we can kind of like hang out. I don't know how that'll fit in my schedule there, but I'll also be working the booth a little bit. Let's see. Carrie Chasen, what would I need to do to show my passing security plus? If you go to CompTIA, they should have the ability to, what is it? Let's go in here. CompTIA prove certification, right? Yeah, you can badge it. What am I looking for? There's a way to verify, I guess. CompTIA, that's what I'm looking for. Certification verification. There you go. CompTIA Learning Center. Please enter your candidate ID and your last name. Is that it? Is that the certification? Verify your CompTIA candidate ID and last name. Cert metrics. Is this it? I don't know. I haven't had to do it in a long time, so I know that LinkedIn has the ability to verify your certification. They kind of walk you through that as well. Here's a Reddit thread. There you go. They check the verification code here at verify.comptia. There you go. So let's take a look at that. Open link in new tab. Oh, that's where we were. Okay, so that was the right spot. Excellent. So there you go. They throw this in there. Obviously, you need to log in to get that access, but that's how they do it. You will give them the information they need to verify your certification. All right. Where are we at here? David O'Neill says, I have an AMD Ryzen 7 4800 with 16 gigs and NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2060, and it's from 2020. It works great for the stuff I do on it. Yeah, I would imagine it would. That's a great machine right there. And it's from, what'd you say it was? From 2020. So that's 5 years old at this point. It's still rocking like a hurricane. See, you don't need the latest and greatest. You can get a few generations back. They run just fine. They have a lot of support, right? People are going to have kind of work the kinks out, as it were. Wayne's Real Will says, oh, come on, GRC. That's why I'm here. Daniel, that's right. Yeah, ask Wayne. Go to Wayne. He is very well versed in that stuff. You need some GRC talk. And of course, Jerry, he's the OG. Let's see. Carrie says, I did a write-up on installing Ubuntu and put it on my LinkedIn page. I guess I need to put it where people can see it. That does help. I put in there with project tags. Okay, that's fine. But well, that's great. What I would do is create a blogs, right? Have a spot that is Carrie's blogs. That's where all the blogs go. And then once you do the write-up and post it there, then you go into LinkedIn and you say, hey, did a write-up on installing Ubuntu. Here's the link. Go check out my blog. Tell me what you think. I'd love to hear some feedback. Hashtag, hashtag, hashtag. At some people that you would like them to see what you did, get some feedback, ask for feedback. That's the kind of stuff you do with LinkedIn. You don't necessarily want to use LinkedIn as your blog place. At least that's some people do, and they have success with that, but I don't see that a lot. You have your own space. Don't give it to LinkedIn. Keep it for yourself, and then post about it on LinkedIn to drive people to that. All right. And then Carrie says, dang it, the stinking chat. I love when it jumps away. I see Kathy Chambers in the house. Welcome to the show, Kathy. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Let's see here. He lit up when I started talking about DNS and the cables, other than he went with someone that was more experienced. And there's nothing you can do about that. Oh, right? That's just what's up. If you're a business owner and you need your business to run as well as possible, you're going to hire the most qualified candidate. And if you were in the running with someone who had all the same knowledge as you plus experience, they won the game. Just you can't hate on that. It's just like put yourself in the shoes of the hiring guy. He's going, man, I love your passion. I love your thing. Now, can you overcome that experience? You sure can. You sure can. It is possible. I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but if you show that you are more passionate than the dude with experience, maybe that passion excites the business owner and says, I'm willing to take a chance, even though you don't have the experience that this person has, because I see how fired up you are about this. And maybe not, right? It's not going to happen every time, but you should always go in thinking, I want to convince them to give me this job. If you want the job, convince them that you are the right person, regardless of any of the shortcomings that you have. Keep selling, right? That's what you're doing. You are trying to convince them that, listen, I don't know who else you got coming in today, but you're not going to find anybody that's more on fire about this job than me. I'm just letting you know. I want to do it. I'm excited about it. I'll give you 110% every day of the week. I'll show up on time. I'll be the last one to leave. I'm not a problem. I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to put my hands on anything you want me to put my hands on and get to work. Right? So let's do it. Let's cut the bull. Let's just do this. Right? Show them that fire and determination to get that job. That goes a long way with a lot of people. Again, it's not guarantee. They might say, hey, I appreciate what you're saying. Appreciate where you're coming from. I feel like it would be, whatever, for what X, Y, and Z reasons I should continue to interview, and I'm going to go with the most qualified candidate and go, I hear what you're saying. But while I might not have the experience of some of them out there, none of them are going to have my passion. None of them are going to have my work ethic. And that's something you can't buy. There's no experience on earth that could give them that. And that's what you got in this character right here. So if you just want to go ahead and let's call it a day, I'll start on Monday. I'll start right now if you want me to start right now. Can I start now? That way we can just get to work. I know you got things to do. I'm here to help you do it. Forget that I don't have experience. It doesn't matter. You're going to spend a little bit of time giving me some OTJ, right? On the job, OJT, or on the job training. And then you're going to be hands off the wheel. I learn fast. I pick up things really quick. So trust me, it's not going to be long. Anybody's going to have some onboarding time, regardless of their experience level. See, you got to push through. FedEx says he just got a Dell PowerEdge R720 with 192 gigs of memory and 4 terabytes of disk space. FedEx is coming here with the Flex, with the laptop. That sounds bad, right? I'm not sure what I want to do with it yet. Well, the sky is the limit with that beast. Good for you, FedEx. That's awesome. Let's see. Kathy's in the house. My girl, rocking it. Man, we've only got 5 minutes left. I cannot believe how fast today went. Today's show did not go anywhere near where I thought it was going to go. But that's cool. I love that, right? Like life just, and you just go with it. Wayne's Real World says, I always let Daniel Lowry know when rock stars are here. That's right. You do need to let me know when the rock stars show up. And guess what? Every one of you here. So Wayne, you got a lot of rock star adding to do because everyone here is a rock star, right? Kathy says to Phil, well, I'm not Daniel Lowry or Jerry Ozier popular, but I'll catch up with them one of these days. Your last LinkedIn post did pretty dang well, so it won't be long now. Let's see here. This has been the Carrie Chasen show. Because Carrie says, I'll have to get going soon on the portfolio since the only way to show stuff is LinkedIn. The only way to show my stuff is LinkedIn. That's not true. I don't have a way to do home labs. I don't understand how that's possible. Have been doing Coursera work for skills. That's cool. So how do you not have the ability to do a home lab? You have a computer. You're online with me right now. You do not have, you have network, right? Show connecting a network. Show everything that you have is on the table to make something out of, to build. And there's someone out there that does not know what this is, right? They don't know what it is. They don't know what it does. They don't know what all this junk on the back means. They don't know what that's for. They don't know anything about this. And you just happen to, right? Here's another thing. I just happen to have stuff on my table. They don't know what this is. They got a vague idea maybe, but they don't know what's going on. What's all this? What does that port do? What does those ports do? What is this for? What's that? What's, guess what? You can open them up too, and there's stuff inside of there. I'm not saying you got to get you work to your level, right? I don't know. How did I have this? You've got stuff. You told me all the time, you've got a bunch of gear laying around. How is that not, I don't know how you're not able to build a lab with that. Cloud, build a lab in the cloud, go to AWS, go to DigitalOcean, go to Azure. They all have free tier stuff that you can sign up for and build that there. Okay. You should always be looking for the angle. Okay, I can't do it the traditional way. I'm going to find another way to do this, right? What do they say? Necessity is the mother of invention. And then because of that, you've got a really unique experience that you can then, that becomes something that you show, right? You got to stop looking at all your roadblocks and letting them stop you and look like hacker mindset, bro. Hacker mindset. It's, yes, this is the normal way in which to doing that. I don't have that capability. How can I get around this? How can I work around? What can I do to overcome those things? Get tricky. Get in Reddit. Come here and go, hey, I'm trying to build something here and I'm having trouble. Ask for help. This is what we're doing this for. You're doing a good job of that, obviously, right? Today is like I jokingly said, today was the Carrie Chasen show because you had a really good questions and comments about getting work. And I'm sure a lot of people have experienced the same kind of struggle that you're going through right now. So hopefully we're giving you some motivation and tips to get around those roadblocks so that you can build that stuff. But it's up to you. We can't force your hand. It's up to you to go, nothing is going to stop me. I am going to do this. Anvil. Look up the heavy metal band Anvil. Anvil. Be that guy, right? Never give up. Never surrender. Galaxy Quest, right? Style. You never... Jason Nesmith, right? That has been labeled the perfect movie, by the way. And if you think I'm kidding, I'm not kidding. That is not just the perfect. It is a perfect movie. It's a very great film, though. All right, we got just a minute or two left. Let me look through here and see if we got some catching up to do. Divine Dream Divine Rockstar, thanks you for doing great. Thank you. Space Tacos, Linux or PowerShell? Both. It's always both. Kathy Chambers. Daniel has a VM series coming out soon on the Anti-Siphon YouTube channel that will be very helpful to anyone just getting started in that. I absolutely do. I was actually going to share that with Carrie, but it's not out yet. And I was like, oh, that's right. It hasn't been released. It's on its way. It's coming. It will be here very, very soon. And as soon as it is, that should help you step by step walk you through installing VMware Workstation Pro, getting a license, the whole 9 yards, getting a login, downloading the software, getting it installed, installing your first Windows VM. If you don't have enough horsepower to make that happen, I get that could be a problem. But, if you do, it should be helpful for you. And that's what's up. If not, start thinking about other routes that could facilitate that for you. Virtualization inside of cloud is very inexpensive. I can run one VM at a very low tier for about $5 a month, right? And there you go. What can I do with it? I can do a lot of stuff, right? So, and anytime I need to spin stuff up, I can. And when I say for $5, I mean it's on, it's rocking 24/7. That VM is available for me. It cost me around $5, right? So if I just need to spin something up for 30 minutes or an hour or 2 hours and then shut it off and then delete it, that cost me maybe $1. It's fairly inexpensive. I get it. She says, I can't afford $5 for the cloud. Guess what? They got free tier. You keep coming at me with excuses. I'm going to keep coming at you with ways around it. I'm sorry, man, but Azure, right? Okay, we're going long. Screw it. Let me show you. AWS free tier. Oh, look. Get a free tier account. Create a free account right there. I don't know if y'all can see that. There it is right there. Oh, guess what? Azure. Free. That's AWS. Azure. Create your Azure free account or pay as you go, right? They give you like $200 or $300 of free time. And like I said, at $5 a month, how long is $200 going to last you? Right? There are options, brother. You just got to find them. You have to be tenacious. Ask for like, okay, so you're saying I can't afford $5? No more problem. You got it. Free. What now? Right? I'm waiting. So go. I can only lead you to the water. I can't make you drink it. He says, I didn't utilize my time for the free tier, and now they just want me to pay as I go. Create a new account, right? Get a new email, get a new everything, and create a new account, right? You can get these, is it privacy.com? Privacy.com. Bing, 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 whatever, accept all. Right? Get this, sign up for privacy, and now you can create new credit cards that only have X amount of dollars on them, and you can sign up for it, and you can put 25 cents on these things or whatever, and it gives you a new card, so it doesn't seem like you're creating, like this is, you work around it. You work around the problem. So if this account no longer has access to the free tier, you create a new account that does, right? So new email address, new stuff, create a sock puppet basically. And I don't think you need to go too far down the rabbit hole on that, to be honest with you. Like you don't need like a burner phone and all that stuff to be able to kind of get around AWS. Like Amazon wants you to sign up, right? What about Azure? Did you do Azure? Did you smoke out the free tier of Azure? Is that gone as well? All right, there. And you were just talking last week about AD. Guess what? That is the future. That's where it's at. So come on, brother, catch on up. Go get that free money and take advantage of it. Learn those skills. There's plenty of like walkthroughs and things for you to just find on the internet and follow the bouncing ball and learn how to spin up an Entra ID directory service in Azure for free. And you could do that in a Chrome browser, right? Doesn't cost you nothing. You don't need any horsepower. You don't need nothing. You just need to do it. You don't just suck, right? It's not about sucking. It's a mindset. You just have to change the way you think. That's the problem. That to me has been what I've seen is your biggest problem, is that you let and don't get me wrong, we all to some extent, setbacks set us back. We go, dang man, that sucks, man. And you got to deal with it and you work through it. But then you got to go, okay, I'm not going to let this stop me. Now that I've had my little pity party, let's get to work. Back in the ring. It was that whole Rocky Balboa thing, right? Where in Balboa it's not about what happens when you get knocked down. It's how many hits you can take and keep getting up and keep struggling forward and never surrendering. You never give up. If the guy on the other end of the ring cannot make you quit, you win, even if he technically beats you, right? If they're raising his hand at the end of the round, it doesn't matter. He didn't beat you. He just won the fight. The only way you lose is if you give up, right? You've really got to dig in and go, okay, listen, I think that you should have some time to go, this sucks, right? And really kind of like sit in it for a minute. We've all been there. You can't let it keep you there, though. You cannot stay there. If you do, then that's when you lose. You have to go, all right, I got hit. It hurt. It sucked. Time to get up. Time to get back up and start swinging again. That's just how it goes, bro. DP, you're welcome. I don't know what I did, but you're welcome. Mental Edge says the rest of the team SC, I got to head out for sure. Yes, I know you guys. It's a little late. We went a little over, but I felt like this was a good thing for those of you that are out there and are not as vocal as Carrie. Carrie, I props, dude, that you are willing to kind of bare yourself to our community and our chat, and I applaud you for that, because a lot of people don't have the guts to do that. That's a big thing of you, and I appreciate that, and I like that about you. I hate that you let your struggles. I get it, man. You can only get kicked so many times, and I hear you. I feel I'm not unsympathetic to your plight. I really do hate this for you, and I want to see you do better. And that's why I constantly try to help you. But at the end of the day, it's you that has to take a hold of the reins of your destiny and do something about what's going on with your situation. Stop giving excuses and start like, okay, think your way around these things, bro. If you don't know how to think your way around it, ask someone for help. Hey, I'm done with the free tier and I don't have money. How can I gain access and continue to learn and work? Right? Plus, you're telling me things like, I had access to a resource and I squandered it. I didn't take advantage of it, and now it's gone. That was a mistake. That's something you should not have done. Right? And now maybe life came in and intervened and it kept you from those things. That happens. But you're still at the same crossroads. Ask the question, someone can come and give you the answers. We got a whole community. I'm looking at this whole community of people. Jerry's Simply Cyber community, Anti-Siphons Discord community. Like, everybody in there is on your side and willing to help you. Ask the question, take it, and go do it. If, like you said, you had trouble with Active Directory, you couldn't get, for whatever reason, you couldn't get VirtualBox up and running. You've given me zero detail on that other than it just didn't work, and you don't know why. Were there errors? What was going on? Like, how did that look? What do you mean it didn't work? And what did you do to try to work around that? Like, how long were you on the struggle bus with that before you raised your hand and said, I'm having trouble. I need some help. If you need help, ask for it, but you got to give detail. Anybody that's worked a help desk, like if you want to work on a help desk, this is the kind of thing you're going to be doing on a daily basis, because the people you talk to, they don't know what's going on. They don't even know about what's going on. You know what I mean? Like, anything. They are, all they know is browser, computer, Word, Excel, Outlook, that kind of stuff, Gmail. They don't know what that stuff is, honestly. So a lot of times, I used to get this all the time on a help desk. Yeah, my computer doesn't work. No, okay, I almost swore there. No, really, Sherlock. You don't say. I figured you just called to see what was up. What is wrong with it? What is it not doing, or what is it doing that shouldn't do? Give me some details. It is giving you errors. If so, what does the error say? Yeah, it gave me an error. Well, what did it say? I don't know. All right, can you make it error again? Well, it doesn't seem to be doing it now. Well, I'm glad I could help. If it does it again, make sure you write down the details and then call me, or leave it where it's at and call me, right? Like details. I used to think errors were like suck, right? Oh, I hate errors. Always got these errors. This errored out. Dang it. The error is there to help you. The error is there to tell you this is what went wrong. You might not understand what the error says, but if you take that information and you put it in a search engine, somebody somewhere out there does know what that means because they put it in there, and they're going to be able to answer that question. You just got to go find them. That is the job of a help desk operator. That's the job of workstation support, is to be able to go, I don't know what the answer is, but I'm going to find it for you. And I'm not going to give up. It's not even my problem, but it's my job. My job is to help you. And I'm on your team. I'm on your side. So we're in this till the thick of it. We're going to figure out what this error is and why it's happening, even though I have no idea. You know how many errors I saw and how many weird things the computer did when I worked on a help desk, or even as a sysadmin, that people would call up and just, they knew you knew about computers, and they would go, I'm getting this. I'm like, I have no idea what this is, but you know what? We'll figure it out. Let's go. Let's strap on our seatbelts and go down this road for the ride. You have to have that mindset. This is not a competency issue necessarily. This is a mindset issue. You have to change the way you think to, I will not give up. I want to, I like the errors now. Cool. I get to, well, that did not do what I thought it was going to do. Let's see why. Let's figure that out. I'm going to learn more about that technology. I'm going to come away from that struggle stronger, better, faster. I'm the $6 million me now. And then when another one comes up, I get to do it all over again. And yes, it's frustrating. And yes, it's difficult. And sometimes you feel like way out of your depths, but you just have to keep going. You just, the people that succeed in life never give up. It's just, if you look at, now some people, again, I'm speaking in generalities. I love when people come up, well, I know someone, the blah, blah, blah. For every edge case you can give me, I can give you 100,000 other examples of, generally, this is how this works. Generally, this is how this works. The people that don't give up are the last people standing at the end of the line because everybody else dipped out. And now it's your time to shine. It's your time to go, I'm that person you've been looking at because I'm the only one here. I'm the only one that saw it through, right? Why do you think Navy SEALs and Delta Force guys and that kind of special forces kind of stuff is very elite? Because it's not that those people were any stronger or tougher or faster or whatever. There were people in their selection group that were stronger, that were tougher, that were faster, but they didn't have the determination. They had quitted them. That's what they had. And maybe when it comes to that, that's what it was, right? You look at some of those people and you think, well, they're really not that, they look like a normal person, but they've killed more people than cancer, right? Because they've been on crazy missions. How do you get at that level? You get at that level by never giving up. It's just what's up. It's just how that works. All right, everyone, we went way over time. I thank you all that stayed in here. Hopefully that helps you carry. David O'Neill says, favorite quote from Batman Begins, why do we fall? To learn how to pick ourselves up. Amen, right? You've got to be tenacious. Like a pit bull, a dog with a bone. You never, ever give up. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. I'm going to call it, I'm starting to lose my voice even. I went long. I hope that helps you, Carrie. Honestly, I really do. I'm not trying to pick on you or anything or discourage you. I'm actually trying to encourage you. And I hope I did. I hope I put a little fire up underneath your butt to get back at it every single day. Never give up, never surrender. That said, thanks for watching, everyone. Until next time, have a great day.